And I'm just going to say this, and you know you've heard me say this before, but she's so good that I was literally watching a reel of her and didn't recognize her in character a couple times. And then went back and I was like, oh my God, she's that good. Really great sign of a character actress. She's also a political pundit. She is also an activist. She's an animal lover. She is also a feminist. She's also someone who's very passionate about politics, and she's got a lot of causes that she stands for, and she's here with us. I just want to say hello. Thank you for joining us today, Stef. It's so nice to see you.
Hey, this is fun already.
Good.
You know, I'm really happy to be here. I'm relaxing. This is we're taking a day off from the studio, so we're trying to like take some time off, so we don't get wiped out. And then Nate's Garden was nice enough to invite me on, and I'm like, oh my God, you are so funny. So you reached out to us, and that's how this rapport began, where you were really like sending us these thoughtful messages and then included in a nice little gift and packaging and some sweatshirts and t-shirts. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then I would see trendy as dabbers on our live chats. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then like one time Bronx brought us this big box of stuff. And I just have to say that a part of this crazy experience producing a show on YouTube is meeting people. Like you either meet them when we were doing our live shows touring, we would meet so many people that were either, you know, they caught us on YouTube, or they knew Jimmy through Comedy Central, or they caught us because they listened to the radio, because we do a radio show, the Jimmy Dore Show. And so it's like all these communities converging together, then we get to meet them. And now I'm here doing somebody's show that we met through the show.
You just reminded me of that scene from Good Morning Vietnam, when he's in the Jeep and all the troops are going by in the buses, and he entertains them for a few moments and realizes all the lives that he's reached. And at the end, it becomes a blur because there's so many of them. As it become a blur, or do you remember stories? You remember these people that you meet? Because it's a lot of people. It's a lot of conversations.
Isn't life a blur? I mean, like there's so many things.
It is when you're smoking.
I will say, yeah, exactly. Like a lot of times Jimmy and I will sit there and Jimmy goes, did we see this movie already? I go, yes, we did. Mm-hmm. You were high. And he goes, oh, I
actually, we've seen it 3 times.
Like, he can remember that. He can remember, did we see Hail Caesar? I'm like, oh, yeah, we saw Hail Caesar. A couple of our friends are in it. And Alan Havey, one of his good friends, is in it. My friend Jeff Lewis is in it. And Jimmy goes, did we see it? I go, yeah, we liked it. And he goes, oh, we have to see it again. Because
refresh our memory.
It was good pot, I guess, that night.
Yeah, you've really got to do a...
I will say traveling,
re-download.
When we meet all the people, mm-hmm. I try to take a lot of photos. And before we came on, I wanted to have a photo that makes me happy behind me right now. That's in Italy.
Nice.
But I have a lot of photos. I go through them and I see people that we met backstage or at the meet and greets after the show. And I take all these great photos, and it's like, I might not know your name, but I will remember your face when I meet you in these lines. And it's really fascinating. I saw a guy, I'm like, have we met before? He goes, yeah, I was at your Tempe show, and I decided to come to the Sacramento show. Nice. Or I saw this guy who's super nice that we met at the People's Summit in DC 4 years ago with Nick Brana. And this guy, these people you keep, lives keep converging together, because a lot of them are activists, and a lot of them feel like when they go to a live Jimmy Dore show, it's a cathartic experience because you're meeting the community of like-minded rebels or like-minded people who want to make a positive difference in our time right now, together.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, I know that you reach a lot of people, and it moves me just to know that there are people that come up to you in public and talk to you and tell you about what they got going on. And they've literally opened up their minds to some of the ideas that you presented to them, and that was one of the first questions I wanted to ask you, because I know you've got a lot of causes, and there's feminism, progressive views, yellow vests, unions, so much more. I know that I haven't been watching you long enough to know half of them, I'm sure. But what I was wondering is if you could tell us what your most important causes are, and any of the points from those causes that you feel you want to share with people, because I want to just give you that platform where you can just talk about stuff, and just say what's going on and what you feel is the most important.
Well, I would say everything you kind of like, don't you just kind of fall into things in life, like you kind of are open to things. So like when I think, when you're saying what's my cause, and I'm thinking right now my cause is harmony. Right now I'm motivated by harmony. I want to bring, and you mentioned about feminism and different things. And, when a country, you can judge, you can judge the success of a country by the success of the women in the country. Mm-hmm. And if the women are thriving, your country will be thriving. And so all these issues, female, male, what's the color of your skin or anything, ultimately, it's all about humanity. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that, it is about humanity, and my own personal experiences speak to that. Like I'm a woman of color, and some people are like, oh, you're a woman of color. Why do you say woman of color? I'm Mexican. I'm an American Mexican. I'm third generation. I don't speak Spanish. That's, oh no, I can speak bad Spanish and I enjoy it. Meaning like, I am not perfect in any way, nor do I try to be perfect, but I am waking up and I want to serve my community. And however I can see that service, and producing segments on the Jimmy Dore show is about serving the community and highlighting things. And so if I were passionate about one thing, it's about public education. And I had a very good friend, one of my close friends, and this is when you start growing up and there's a divide politically because you're like, oh my God. And my very good friend, we did comedy together, hung out together, part of my life, was saying, and this was like 10 years ago, was saying, why should I pay taxes so poor kids go to school? Jeez. Now that's a real statement, a real person
that's horrible.
In my life is making, knowing that I've taught for over 20 years, knowing that I've been a part of education, that said, why should I pay taxes so poor people go to school?
So, Stef, did you just explain it to him really quickly, and like you would talk to a child?
Well, you want to do it, honey, because it makes your neighborhood better. And when your neighborhood is thriving and your schools are thriving, that house you just bought, well, that house increases in what it's worth, you lame. So when you talk to people who, there are great elements about education. What a beautiful thing to do, and what a vision to educate your public, and how meaningful that is. It's like when it's like education opens up so many things, except that education has become just like this kind of like machine of testing. And testing doesn't mean anything. And testing, all these tests are ultimately linked to higher education. So why don't we suck the fun out of education? Why don't we take, like for me right now, I'm panicked. I had a mission. It's like my mission is to tell teachers, don't go back to the classroom. You are disposable. Don't go back to the classroom. You can't, but then at the same time, I have friends that want to go back to the classroom. And then you see online, I saw this thing on Facebook, and I avoid Facebook as much as possible.
I agree.
It's the work of the devil.
I agree.
The work of the devil.
That's what I tell everybody.
And don't be surprised when he runs for emperor. So Zuckerberg will be running for emperor of, doesn't he own an island or two? It's gross. How can people own islands? Anyways, so I saw this thing on Facebook, a teacher, and people who go into teaching, I would say a lot of them are very selfless. Look at elementary school teachers. They're just these really selfless, big moms and big dads who want to take care of kids. Now, a teacher is now constructing, getting plexiglass and getting piping to create barriers for her students. God. You're not a construction worker.
It's psychotic.
Your facility has been brimming over with kids. I would teach a classroom with over 38 kids in a classroom of 16-year-olds. Over 38 of them, Monday through Friday. I taught over 176 kids, Monday through Friday. And people go, do you miss it? No, I don't miss teaching 176 teenagers Monday through Friday. You don't even want to be in the car with 2 teenagers. I was in the classroom and I loved it. I love teaching kids and inspiring them. But I'll tell you, for every 186 kids that I taught, there's an average of 8 to 10 sociopaths and psychopaths Monday through Friday in my classroom. I couldn't handle the sociopaths and the psychopaths. They're crazy. They're crazy makers. And that's not even including the administrators who are so disconnected from the reality of the classrooms. So I think in a way, a pandemic has really highlighted the inadequacies of the way our system is structured in society. We can't function without our kids being cared for 8 hours a day. And I was never a babysitter. I did not babysit. That's not my thing. I was a teacher who challenged kids critically. And at the beginning of 2000, and I think it went to 2006, in the state of California, in certain classes. So I think kinder through 6th grade, it was 20-1 in the classroom. 20-1 kids in the classroom. That's healthy.
It's a healthy ratio. That's what I was just going to say. It's a healthy ratio. Yeah.
That's healthy.
And now
in Finland, what they do is they have 3 teachers in a classroom. Finland might not have the mix of multiculturalism that we have, but in Finland they have all of them have masters. There's an instructor. There's a teacher that checks for understanding, and then there's a teacher that sits down one-on-one with kids.
Wow.
You want to talk about a jobs program?
I was just going to say, wow, stop robbing my thoughts, Stef. That's exactly what I was going to just say, and you're saying it before I could even think the thoughts. I love listening to this. Let me pause you for 1 second because your audio and your video are mismatched. I'm going to kick you out of the Zoom room and get you back in, and hopefully that'll line your audio back up. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's see here. More. Stop video. Okay. More. Start video. Okay, hopefully it'll ask her to restart her video. Okay, and we'll see if that fixes her. Okay, let me see if that...
It did testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's off by it's off by a second, but you know what? It sounds perfect. Everyone can see you, and it's kind of got that little off thing, but I don't know if it's my computer. I hope maybe it's just my monitor doing it, but maybe they can see it too. But I've got so many questions for you, and and that was great that you said education. I love that. I love that you said, just everyone getting along. And I have always been very divisive when I was podcasting. I used to pick sides, and I was, I'm just going to let you know, when I started podcasting, it was almost 10 years ago, I was racist. And when I started podcasting, I stopped being racist. It cured my racism. It was a beautiful thing. And it was an evolution. It happened, over time. People got to watch that happen. My point was, I've changed my whole philosophy here on the podcast now is I want to bring people together too. And I just love that you said that. I totally agree with that. It's so important. And let me tell you, you might not like this, but this is what I do now. When people come in and they're like, Trump 2020, I used to block them because I could do it on such a small scale. It was no big deal. Now I let them come in and they say whatever they want. And you know what I tell them? I say, you can promote Trump. You could talk about Trump. You could do all you want. I said, just don't lie. And I said, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tricky. And you're going to have to tread carefully, but you could come in and promote them all you want. And we get along great. And it works. So let me go on. I've got some fantastic questions for you, and we don't have a lot of time. So let me get on some of these.
I'm going to say something really quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
With my beef scene back on. I just wanted to say that I have Trump supporters in my family. I have Trump people in my family.
Certainly.
And to think that I have to alienate people who that is the hardest part of what's happening culturally, is that we are dealing with that idea of separatism,
right?
And hey, isn't that the way they want it?
And we don't have to do it. We don't have to play their game.
They want us to play the sport of my team is better than your team, right? So you can fuck off.
And I played that. I played that game for a while.
I don't want to participate in that.
It's anymore. A losing. You lose that game, and it's an echo chamber is only fun for so long,
Yes, but I just want to also say that I can understand that in the midst of this crisis and the possibility of just being bankrupt, my home taken away from me because I don't have health care, because I get sick. So that whole idea that I don't understand people in the streets, no matter what you are protesting, how everybody isn't just fucking Medicare for all. Everybody. How are you somebody in the South, in the North, healthcare? Not fucking affordable healthcare when you don't have a job. What's affordable? No healthcare when you don't have a job. So those are, talking about things that I'm passionate about, it would have to be healthcare. It would have to be healthcare because that is for humanity. That is for my neighbor. That is for the young man that I see walking down the street who is homeless and needs help in some way. Our society, by the way, California, 5th largest economy in the world, Californians should have health care. Galvin Newsom, why don't you lead? You want to be president? Why don't you give the state of California health care? They want to keep us sick. Isn't that by design?
It's the deals they make on their way out the door so they can get the speeches, they get that money so their children can get their foot in the door of the next political race that they're going to be doing. It's all obvious to us. It's painfully obvious. But I want to talk about you, Stef. I want to talk about you. You're one of. I know you've got all this stuff, and that's why I wanted to get all of your stuff out of the way at first. But we don't have a lot of time, so let's talk about you. And here's a very, very important question. How old were you when you first realized you were funny?
Oh, I would say when I was in my grandmother's kitchen, and I would shove a ball under my dress, and I was probably like 3 or 4, and I would say, "I'm having a baby. I'm having."
That is funny. Love it.
I thought it was great.
And everybody laughed on the floor, right?
Annoyed. She was annoyed. She would tell me to get out.
Really? Oh, she didn't have a good mind for comedy.
My mom would laugh at me. My mom laughs at me all the time. I
must say you were a little before your time back then with that joke, but you are a cutting edge woman, and I'm not surprised one bit. Okay. All right. So
yes, thank you.
You're welcome. What was your first informal performance or play as a child? And I mean, not at school or at camp or anything like that. Not organized, but like with your family or neighborhood kids or with your cousins, or you put up a little puppet show, or did you do a little theater at home or anything like that?
I did a great deal of cooking shows.
No. Oh, no. I got to hear about them. Tell us about
I had
them.
a great deal. One of my favorite gifts that my mom gave me was like these big pots and pans that had smiles on them. And so I would force my mom and my sister to come into our garage, and I would do a cooking show. And my favorite ingredient was cucamonga. I'd put a little cucamonga here, a cucamonga there. I just like cucamonga. I just thought that sounded like a good.
Sure.
Really good
It's got a good sound to it.
Right? Cucamonga.
Right.
You need a little cucamonga, right? So that was, I would do, and my mom said, they would go on forever, and they would just have to sit there, watch me do it. So I was very, my mom indulged me, with when I would play. But that would be the thing. And my favorite part of summertime, I will say as a kid, vividly recall getting all the blankets and ropes and chairs and building outside tents and mazes. That's what I loved doing as a kid. That was just the best. And then my parents used to get us, I don't know if nobody does it anymore, we get cardboard boxes, and then you'd like make mazes through them when you were kids. So that for me was, outdoors and summertime, that's great. And cooking shows. So to this day I watch cooking shows. But I don't cook.
You didn't syndicate, but did it carry through, or was there like a period where, okay, boys and school and that, or were you always like down with comedy? Were you focused on that, or was that something that came like how old was professional stand-up gig? At what age?
Oh, I didn't start doing no. My first paid stand-up gig was at South Florida University of South Florida. And it was with Dat Fan. He was the headliner.
What was his name?
And it was my first Dat Fan.
Dat Fan.
And Dat had won one of the first comedy competitions that they would see. So that was my first paid gig for comedy was when I did the Groundlings. So I was in the Groundlings Sunday Company, and they would, you would get industrials, and they go, hey, we have this industrial in Palm Springs, you're going to get $200. I'm like, I'm getting $200 to go do improv? Let's go. And there were, there were a bunch of Groundlings that we would go and do these industrials, and we'd get paid.
Right.
So I had some really fun experiences in Hollywood, doing the improv, and I loved it. The Groundlings was such a great, fun experience. It was a blast. And then I ended up going to Acme Comedy Theater, and I did comedy there, and we did sketch writing. So you do a lot of sketch. Groundlings, you do improvisation. The audience gives you a topic. That's always fun. And then you improvise, and it's like a wild roller coaster. It was hard for my family to watch improv because there's always that feeling like you're watching, and my boyfriends at the time, if they come, they go, oh, it's like watching your kid. You hope they don't strike out. I'm like, I'm not going to strike out. Relax already. It's all going to work out.
Support me and laugh. Laugh no matter what.
So, and then my mom would come to my shows, and she would sit front row and take photos. You're not supposed to go to the theater and take photos.
Funny.
But my mom would, and they were always nice to my mom, and they would go like this. They were like, I'm sorry, Kathy, you can't take photos. And she would snap them, and she would put them away. And I gotta tell you, if she hadn't taken those photos, I wouldn't have had photos of some of the fun times that I had on stage. Because it's easy now. It's so easy to snap photos.
Right.
But, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you weren't that, people didn't take a lot of photos 20 years ago. I gotta get my AC on. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. That's my dog.
Yeah, I've got a remote control. Brownie.
Yeah, I have a remote control, but it was across the room.
Everyone show us your remote controls.
Okay, so that was my first paid gig.
So what is your first recollection of a professional funny lady? Who inspired you when you were a child and you're like, oh, people do that for a living, you know?
It didn't matter if they were a man or a woman for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was really like, I just liked comedy. I liked watching the Carol Burnett show. I thought Harvey Korman was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I liked watching, I like a little kid, there was a show called Laugh-In.
Laughing. No, laughing.
Laughing.
Yeah, laughing. Sure.
Thought it was fantastic. I think Laugh-In was produced by a man named George Schlatter. And George Schlatter was like the creator of Laugh-In. And when I was at Acme, he eventually did a new show that he was trying to do, a new primetime comedy. I think it was called Primetime Comedy. And that was my first pilot. No, it wasn't my first pilot. But that was one of my pilots that I got to do was I got to write my own content, or co-write it. And George Schlatter picked a couple sketches from Acme when he came and saw our shows. And then I thought it was pretty funny seeing somebody like George Schlatter, this guy who's like this symbol of, you know, comedy from the 70s, I guess, right? And all of a sudden he's still thriving, producing stuff. He even produced several years ago one of my friends' shows, Jan Karam, very talented comedian, one of the first women that was on David Letterman, doing stand-up. Jan Karam, hilarious. He produced one of her shows. So it's interesting watching the show as a kid and then running into the executive and working with him at one point. So that was kind of a fun thing. I would say George Carlin made a big impression on me when I was a kid. I loved George Carlin. I didn't care how old he was. Comedy doesn't really have a sensibility of age when you're a kid watching comedy.
Right.
You know, you grow into different comedy. Like some stuff could be really sophomoric when you're a kid. You know, you might laugh at, you know, but I'm not really like one about farts or, you know.
Oh, you would hate you would hate my pube set then.
Probably. But you know, everybody has their own style of comedy. Everybody has it's a real wild thing. And the only reason I ever I understood sketch comedy. That made sense to me. Stand-up comedy was such a different kind of thing, and you know Kathy Griffin?
Sure, of course.
So
the beheader?
So Kathy Griffin was one of my teachers at
Oh,
Gremlins.
wow.
And she
That's cool.
really inspired me. She made me laugh so hard all the time. She's talented. She is talented. She
You know,
is
I didn't
funny.
even know who she was until the D List, and my sister turned me on to her, and I was just blown away by how when she's in front of her parents, she just says whatever she wants to say, and it is just hilarious. You know, she's just so funny. Everything she says is funny. Oh yeah, right.
She's rough.
Oh,
And she breaks a lot of rules and she makes a lot of mistakes. But you know, when you do comedy, there is supposed to be this level of irreverency. You have to be irreverent. You have to be. It's a part of your purpose to highlight society's foibles or problems or whatever, and have a point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think, you know, I thought if you ever watch some old Joan Rivers stuff, old Joan Rivers, like when
Sure.
Joan,
Sure.
she is hilarious and self-deprecating.
Sure.
I felt like a lot of stuff as she got older was like, I hate those fashion shows, those shows that call, you know, I don't get that stuff. That doesn't, I don't really, that's all the time we have is you want to shit on people and you're wearing, well, how much jewelry are you wearing? How much, what are you? So I think all those shows are this,
It's like a tabloid type show, like entertainment.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Tattletale.
raise our sensibility or compassion for others. It's a real kind of like, it's a consumerism.
Didn't reality television kind of bring us into that age, Steph? Remember when reality started? You know, reality TV, and it was around that time
I
that
remember when reality started. Well, you know, Jesus Christ, it destroyed Hollywood, the reality shows, threw lots of writers out of, you know, work. It was real tough. I mean, and then you have some shows that they say that there's no writers. This is all reality. They're writers. And really, who cares what any of these housewives are doing? Who cares? Who's interested? It just seems like it's worst type of propaganda against women. I mean, they're all those kind of shows. Just watching the previews of those shows make my skin crawl.
Yeah, the only reason I knew who Donald Trump was because of that advertisement he took out in the newspaper asking to have the Central Park Five put to death. That was what I knew Donald Trump from. But let me ask you a question kind of pertaining to politics. How did you end up combining comedy with current events like you do today with Jimmy?
I think it has a lot to do with Jimmy Dore's influence. You know, like that. Jimmy has always been very politically aware and informed. And it was because he had a current events teacher when he was in, I wonder if it was 8th or 9th grade. And this current events teacher, it was when Reagan was in office, and his dad was a Democrat for Reagan. And I forget what they call it. And he just could see through the analysis and synthesizing of current events that he kind of always connected there. But when you do comedy, when I did sketch comedy at the Groundlings, it was rare that there was a political statement in the groups that I worked with. You know, when I look back, it was just like goofy to be goofy, you know, like being, you know, an oversexed character isn't making any kind of political statement, you know, like if I played, you know, like kind of like a over the top, you know, sex hungry, I don't know what that says, you know.
Right.
But sketch comedy, you know, when you would see Tina Fey do Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
That was some of the best, most precious moments of comedy, you know, and I really enjoy Tina Fey as a, you know,
me too.
Really find her very inspiring. And I think what happened is when there are not a lot of a lot of people usually ask what I am. A lot of people don't know that I'm Mexican. They usually think I'm Italian.
Right.
You know, so a lot of people aren't sure, you know, or are they, a lot of people don't think I'm from California. Sometimes people think I'm from back east. I don't know why, and I love it. A lot of people are like, oh, you're from New Jersey? I'm like, I'm not from New Jersey, but...
I thought you were from... No, I always used to, until I found out later, but I always used to think that you were total East Coast. I thought you were from New York. That's what I thought. I'm from Florida, so I just thought you were from the East Coast.
Why.
I could tell you why. I mean, we could talk about it. We could talk about it, but we don't... Do you want to know why? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You have several things. Number one, you have a skin tone about you, and your hair and your dark eyebrows and your features. You look like a girl that I would meet from the East Coast. You just have that look. Whereas a lot of people think West Coast, they think fair skin and blonde hair and blue eyes. You know, my mother is from New York, okay? My mom kind of resembles that look that you have, except she's not as dark skinned as you, but she has the eyebrows and the dark hair. And Steph, most importantly, it's the way you talk. You have a thing in your voice, and it sounds East Coast. It sounds Northern East Coast. It's the way you talk. You can't help it.
Okay.
You do.
I can't help it.
If you want it,
I cannot help it.
I mean, I could imitate my grandmother for you, and you could see if it's kind of similar to you.
Okay, yeah, I love it.
What did she used to say? I'm going to hit you with the wooden spoon. I'm going to hit you with this wooden spoon. Come over here. That's how she used to talk to me. Does that sound like you?
That is so funny. That is so funny. That is so funny. I like it. That's funny because my mom just got a new dog, and my mom lives like about 10 minutes away from me. She got a new dog, and this dog is so sweet but hyper and crazy that she has to take out a wooden spoon and just go. She uses the wooden spoon. She doesn't hit the dog. She goes and just shows the wooden spoon, and the little dog just like sits there and thinks we're playing with it. So now I'm gonna say, hit with a wooden spoon.
I want my sister to see this so bad. She's gonna laugh. Okay, so how did you guys end up on YouTube?
So one of our inspirations. So we did a podcast. We did podcasts. We did podcasts with Todd Glass, Jimmy Dore, myself, and it was called Comedy and Everything Else. We interviewed so many terrific comedians. We did that for over 100 episodes. I think we ended up doing like 140 episodes of our podcast.
Wow.
And we had a great run. We did terrific. You can find it. Really great interviews. Some fun stuff with Paul F. Tompkins, Brian Regan, great interview. David Spade.
Wow.
One of our friends.
Nice.
Yeah. Jim Gaffigan.
Nice.
Maria Bamford,
Jim Gaffigan can't even breathe without being funny. What is it about that guy? He just oozes funny, man.
Right?
Oh, God. So funny.
So we did that show for a long time. We did that show, and then with the advent of Jimmy was offered to do the radio show at KPFK, and he started to craft the Jimmy Dore show. We were also at the same time producing a live show at the Upright Citizens Brigade called Citizen Jimmy, and also Poppin' Politics. And so Poppin' Politics was this live show that we would examine. Jimmy would examine pop culture and politics. And eventually, it was less and less pop culture.
Right.
And more politics.
The evolution.
And then the show evolved from there.
Right.
And then he got an offer to go and be a guest host on the Young Turks network.
Wait. Jimmy did?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Jimmy got invited to go and do a guest spot on the Young Turks.
Mm-hmm.
He did the guest spot. And we were really inspired by Cenk's model. And what Cenk did was Cenk was one of the first YouTubers, and I guess it was in 2006, he sat in his living room and he produced a show Monday through Friday. Right. And that was Cenk Uger's model. Deliver. And so Jimmy continued to work with the Young Turks, and we have a garage, and I started to empty the garage. Old furniture, old luggage. I purged everything out from our garage because I wanted to build a studio.
Love to be able to do that. I'm jealous.
Jimmy measured everything. Jimmy, we had a contractor, this guy, Tony Contreras, who's fantastic. And we took it all down and they put drywall all around this place. We got electrical put up. We ended up, we live in Pasadena, so it gets really hot. And the first time we had like a wall unit air conditioner, and how it worked was, okay, you ready for the show? All right. AC on, great. Show gonna start, AC off, let's go. Jimmy, we would turn the AC off. We would do a story. We would be dripping, and we would turn the AC back on. Then we would try to do some more stories, and summer was awful.
Man.
And then we finally got our equipment. We slowly improved each element to this studio. We slowly got another monitor to project the cameras on. We started with one camera, then we went to two, now we have three. And we had awful air conditioning, and now we have like one of those units that you put at the top of, that's up above. It's like these long units, and it's great air conditioning unit. You put them in rooms that they provide, perfect AC.
Right.
So Young Turks was our inspiration. We had a garage that had a lot of stuff in it that we didn't need, and I purged everything, and we just built a studio. Just did the best we could, researching it and figuring things out and enjoying it as we went along.
You could be possibly the most incredible guest ever interviewed in the history of the world. You know why? Because through that answer, you answered my next question, which I don't even have to ask. The question was, which YouTubers, which YouTube entertainers inspire you? So you already covered that. So now this.
Yeah, and Kyle Kalinske. Kyle Kalinske was another inspiration for Jimmy Dore. Kyle.
Yeah, tell us about Kyle.
Jimmy,
I'm a huge Kyle Kalinske fan. Huge Kyle Kalinske fan.
He goes, dude.
Oh, dear sir, how dare you?
You would kill it. You would kill it on YouTube. He kept telling Jimmy.
It's awesome.
Kyle Kalinske.
He's so awesome, man. You would kill it.
Do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like his whole oh good sir, how dare you? Ooh, it's like my favorite thing. How did you meet Ronnie?
So Ron was also on the Young Turks platform. So Ron.
Oh, you met him from TYT?
And so Ron moved to LA and started to hang out and show up to our shows.
No, wait. I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused. Are you sure? Because I thought Ron said he had nothing going on, moved to LA and met Jimmy, like totally cold call type.
But he was purposeful. He knew where we were, but they had put Ron on TYT platform.
I may have missed that. I may have missed that when he said it or something. Okay, thank you for straightening that out for me.
They had a comedy channel. And so Ron would connect with us. And I remember seeing Ron. Ron had longer hair at one point. So I met him and he had shorter hair and he looked kind of like a totally different guy.
Right.
And he started to write for Jimmy. And he started, what was great about working with Ron is he lives here in Pasadena and could come on over at noon or 1 and start working on a story with Jimmy. And so we would just collaborate, and Ron is a hilarious and talented writer. Ron Placone, so funny, so talented. We're really lucky to have Ron in our life. And so we had Ron working here, and then Ron had another opportunity that he took a break from, and then we have the pandemic. And so Ron and Graham and Ron, hilarious. They would do our live shows at Flappers in Burbank, and then I would look at them like, why aren't you two touring? You would kill it. You two are great. And ideally what we like to do is that they go someplace and we go someplace at the same time, and that we get to perform with each other's shows. That was the idea that we were trying to work on. But, it was a lot of schedules to coordinate that we're slowly working out. But, we missing Graham, we missing Ron, and we missing the live shows. So,
sure.
Ron lives here in Pasadena, and that's what was such a great, when he relocated, he moved to Pasadena, and it made the Jimmy Dore show thrive further.
Okay, so you and Jimmy, this is a prepared question. You and Jimmy obviously love each other very much. Is it hard to keep it professional in front of live audiences weekly? Any discussion between you guys over how to present your feelings for each other on the show in front of your audience?
It's such a funny thing because I'm not his wife when I'm on camera. I'm not his wife when I'm on stage. That is like, most people don't even know. People are
you say that, Stef, and to new people, I'm sure that's true. But to those of us who watch you guys all the time, we're like watching, this saga, this love saga that goes on and on and on and on and on. We're loving it. You have no idea. We live for you guys to go live. We live for it.
Oh, Yeah, it's fun. It's let me tell you, the the hardest thing is I we both have expectations. We both have expectations, and we both have certain level of skills. And he makes me a better producer, and I make him a better producer. And the biggest thing is taking a break, having breaks. That's the only way that this will continue is having time to rest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise you're just gonna see us slowly devolve and go, oh my god.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Breaks are good. Little vacations. I've got a bunch more questions for you, but I've got a question from one of my audience members. His name's Karsten Mank. He's from Germany. He's been watching for a few years, and he watches you guys too. He wanted to know if, when you're looking for gigs as a woman, do you find it harder to book as it would be for someone who's not a woman to book a show? Is there any kind of do you get any kind of?
you know what? That's interesting. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is something to that. I'm not, I'm lucky because I'm traveling with a show that I already know you when I arrive. So I'm at a place with touring with Jimmy where I know the audience, and so I'm not getting any kind of resistance. But I do know that they're everybody has their own style, and I think sometimes some clubs, some venues might lean more on they're more comfortable with a certain gender than another. Yes,
I love the way you phrase that. With a certain gender than another.
right. So I guess. I mean, I'm just lucky because as a stand-up, I'm not a headliner. So
You're a headliner. You're a headliner for me, and let me tell you something. You're definitely a headliner quality. When we're talking about this stand-up, I asked you a while back in a super chat on your show, and you actually answered this, but I'm going to ask you now because I think it's important. When you say practice, you practice stand-up. Do you practice alone or do you practice in front of people?
One of the hardest things right now is I haven't done any of the Zoom shows. I haven't gone and done any of my friends' shows lately at all since we've done the quarantine, and I think it's because I need a break. So a lot of times when we do our live shows, we're done like at 7:00. Well, what I want to do next is I want to eat. And then I just kind of want to unwind. And a lot of shows are starting at 7:00. And so, I'm sure I could find a show, but it's a whole different style. And so the whole deal with practice is you want to be able to wear your content when you're on stage. Because when you're on stage, there's a lot of energy happening. There's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of movement happening. And so you really want to know your material. You want to be able to wear it. You want to be in it. So then when you are in a moment of something crashes in the room,
right?
Well, that crash isn't going to take you from your moment. You're going to go, whoa, somebody really liked that moment. Okay, I'll get back to you.
Stef, how do you achieve that? How do you achieve that level of wearing it? What are you doing to get that comfortable?
So for me right now, I'm not practicing. Right now, I feel very scattered. Like I'm not, I'm working on a project right now that doesn't have anything to do with me performing. And then I'm doing something else. I'm taking, I like musical theater. I really like musical theater. You could ask me, Steph, sing a song. I couldn't sing a song from the moment that I'm like, I freeze, right? But so I'm taking a musical theater workshop with my good friend Karen Benjamin.
Okay.
And every Saturday from 1 to 4, I'm going to be doing a Zoom musical workshop. These are a blast. People are singing, people are learning. It's really, really nurturing for me. That kind of class loosens me up on stage. Because my teacher, Karen, is so talented. She makes it fun for you. Like it's like I'm performing for my teacher. I get a little practice. I get a little buzz there. So that's what's working with her.
Okay, so this goes back to one of the very first things that I was referring to. Which,
I got to go in 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes.
I know. But I'll be back. I'll be back
on your demo reel. I don't even know if you remember this thing on YouTube, and it's got you as a woman. You're addressing like the school board or something. What is that? And what is that from? You're like a.
Oh.
What is that?
Yes, that demo. I got cast in a movie. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. That's that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a scene from an independent film that I did, and the concept was it was that main character's day on stage. So I was her teacher. I was the main character's teacher in that scene. So that was just like the beginning of a film that I did. I don't even remember the name of that.
You made it. You say it was independent, and you make it sound small. But when I saw it, several things that I noticed. Number one, it was really good film quality. The sound quality was really good. Your performance, as short as I saw, was phenomenal. I saw that you were really acting. You were just really like you're very professional stuff. And I didn't, there was so much I didn't know about you. And I learned a lot recently because I wanted to have you on and I wanted to learn. So I got on YouTube and I saw a wonderful interview. Everyone should see that you and Graham Elwood do together where you're sitting in the green room and you guys are talking politics.
Graham is adorable.
You're adorable together, the two of you. It's just such a cute thing. The conversation is just so funny. And you're very off the cuff and you're funny all the time. And I get that on when you're on the show. Now, I know that Jimmy does the show. You'll bring other comics on. You'll be sitting there in the seats with Lee Camp, and sometimes I've seen Tim Black, and I've seen others. So here's my question. When you're sitting there in those chairs, and I know you guys are all very supportive of each other, and somebody says something that's just not funny, do you laugh to support them?
Somebody says something not funny.
Yeah, if it's your friends, I mean, do you support?
I would say more than often, what you'll notice is if somebody says something that lands flat.
Yes.
The conversation keeps going. Nobody goes.
So you what you're saying is you will throw some cover down. You'll try to pick it up and take it somewhere else. Like, don't look there.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
Naturally, comics will either laugh because it's funny, but in a room with comedians, it's rare somebody will laugh just to give it up to you. Comics don't, and sometimes comics are the toughest crowd. So, but always with our friends on stage, and even in here in the studio, it's really just, we have a small core of people that we can feel safe with talking about topics.
Yeah, but you've got the audience. You've still got the audience sitting in front of you when you were doing those shows. Right. So do you ever just blurt a joke out because you will, and you won't know if it's really funny yet until after it comes out, right? And how you play it.
Yes.
Oh, so you are so it's not always practice. It also has to do with knowing how to be funny, knowing what's funny. You seem to have a good understanding of it.
The best advice Jimmy gave me was you're having a conversation with the audience. Like, that's a really good piece of information that I'm not separate from you, but we're really in a conversation. And when you're at a live show and the stand-up has a moment of improv or crowd work with the audience, that's like magic. Like, all of a sudden, oh, look, we're all in it right now. Look, the comic's being off the cuff. It's improv. And that's like a special moment that you get to have, and that's the comedy part. Right. That's the comedy part. All right,
Wait. No more questions. No more questions. But before you run, I want to say this. Thank you so much. We so appreciate this, Steph. We love you. And a lot of the people that are watching this broadcast, they watch the Jimmy Dore show and they watch you and they didn't know any of this stuff. And they're just hearing it now. So,
I'm a mystery.
So thank you for that. And the other thing I wanted to say before you run was, you're welcome back anytime, of course. And, you know,
I'll be back.
And there was one other thing, and it's just left my mind, and I don't know what it was. My brain's gonna explode. I'm under pressure. But you know what? I'll tweet it at you. I'll tweet it. Oh, that was it. I remember what it was I wanted to say. Promote everything that you got right now that you want people to know where to find you, where you're at on Twitter, YouTube, everything. Go ahead.
Okay, where you can find me, I'm always here at the Jimmy Dore Show, live, profitable liberal. And it's a blog that when I'm not miserable, I write. And I have these little like anecdotes of life and my perspective, and I have fun doing it. It's like my little playground right now. You can find me on Twitter at Miserable Lib, because Miserable Liberal was taken by somebody who doesn't. And I'm even thinking about changing my handle. I'm considering changing my handle.
I just changed my handle from Trendy As Dabbers to Nay's Garden. So, you know, it's
I'm thinking about it. So tweet at me if you have a new name for me. Keep it clean. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let's see if I.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's see if I can do this. I'm just going to click red. Bye-bye. Bye.
Take care.
All right, here we go. Boom. Going.
Or stay with us. Stay with us forever, which is fine. Okay. Did you guys were you guys, I hope you guys were able to hear and see. You know, I'm sorry that there was a mismatch on the audio. You know, I have a feeling if I did have her leave the chat and come back in, it may have fixed it. But I should have done it instead of just turning off her video and turning it back on again. But I just looked at her eyes instead of her mouth, and it didn't really, I didn't really think about it, you know? You guys enjoyed it, huh? I had more questions for her. I could have sat there for 4 hours and asked her stuff, and then we could have started talking, you know, current events or politics or anything. She'll talk about, you know, anything. But you know, we could have done some improv for you. Hey, we could have done some freaking improv for you. What? Yo, would have been great. Jeff, thank you, hippie chick. Thank you, everybody. You guys, I'm actually a little overcome right now with emotion. So I'm sorry. Greatest interview ever, says Enoch. Really? You know, I can go through and I can edit her part so to match up the voice with the sound. With I've got an editing software that chuckles, chuckles, chuckle shout. What? You woke up at 5:30 a.m. just to watch. It was worth it. She's busy, but she was here. Hey, Karsten, man, I read your question. It was a good question, bro. Listen, Karsten, I almost didn't read the question. You know why? Because, oh, thank you, Cheryl, honey. Thank you. Because I almost didn't read the question because I thought it was a little sexist. And I know how she is about, you know, how she's a feminist and stuff like that. But then I was like, well, no, I kind of wonder what she's got to say about. That's a good fucking question, bro. It was a good question. I'm proud of you for asking a good question, Karsten. It was really good, man. And she gave a really good answer, you know? And, bro, I know that Jimmy had gotten around and stuff, but I didn't realize that, you know, she was, you know, they were literally hanging out with the biggest names in freaking comedy, man. And it was, why should I not? The Jimmy's hilarious, man. Jimmy's fucking hilarious. And if now you all know Stef is hilarious too. And she doesn't ever go for, it's like she said during the interview when she said, I'm not Jimmy's wife during the show. And I'm like, oh bullshit. Well, you are to us. We're just waiting for you guys, to talk to each other, have contact, or bat your eyelashes or something, man. We're always waiting. We love them so much. So my point was, I don't know what my fucking point was. That's just such a fun. I have no idea what my point was. Oh, let's smoke some more of this jug. Hurt. Pat yourself on the back, Nay, says Teresa. It looked okay to me. I didn't notice. What? You're talking about the sound and the video off? You guys didn't see the sound and video off? Did anybody see her? It was her voice was off by about a second almost. Almost a full second. You guys saw that, right? Please tell me you didn't. Nobody saw it. Please tell me it was only on my monitor. Please, please, please. I saw it on Zoom monitor. I saw it on my monitor. I was like, how could you not be seeing that? It was off. Right. Yeah, it was off. It was off. It was off. Like I said, I can fix it. The thing is, I can't slide the whole track over. I have to cut the tracks every time she talks. And, I can separate them out and just slide all that over. It's all off by the same time. Good. Okay, good. Okay. I mean, not good. It's not good. But it's good that you guys were able to tell me that it was off. I know it was off. Yeah. Yeah, and, I knew it was off. So, it was because my computer, man, my computer's acting like it can't handle all of this shit. A Zoom meeting, running my goddamn... Dude, when I look at you, want to go outside, little dude? I still got some keffe left. What? It's got real fucking creamer in it. I've never had that before. So it was beautiful. Her voice sounded nice and clear. She looked great. And she just, she's... I remember what I was going to say. She's really together. What I was going to say was, she says she's not Jimmy's wife during the show. Okay. She isn't Stef Zamorano stand-up comic, Stef Zamorano character actress either. She doesn't go into character on that show. Right? And whatever the reason is for it, I'm sure it's a fantastic reason. But I'd like to see more of Stef Zamorano in character, doing what she's so fantastic at. I'd love to see her get into Zooms doing. She was talking about singing. I'm like, you should be doing Zoom live streams where you're doing what Graham and Ronnie are doing, where you're doing stand up. You want some practice? Get back in there. Cat Stoops, thank you so much. I told her before we started the show, we started late because we were talking. I said, I just want to hoard you. I said, I just want to sit here. I've got so many questions to ask you off camera. I just want to talk to you. It's so funny. It's like, we better go live. Oh man, I got so many questions for her. Her and I started talking about, the video that I've got to tweet it to her, the video from YouTube. Hey, Iceman, Iceman, what the Ice? It's time to smoke with Iceman. It's time to smoke. Time to smoke with Iceman. Time to smoke. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't just for all. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Ice. Nobody got into that package, bro. Billy, nobody got into that package. It must have spilled out. It was all taped up. Tight. Do you even watch the... Do you even unboxing, bro? Do you even unboxing, bro? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Don Schooley, what's up, son? Oh my god, that tasted so goddamn good. Oh my god, it tasted so fucking good. You have no idea. Fuck. Oh my goodness. I can finally play and sing my guitar. I had to save my voice for the Stef Zamorano interview. Zamorano, I should say. Stef Zamorano. Zamorano. masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerers of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah! got this pause in it. Waiting on a Sunday afternoon, what I read between the lines. Feeling like I had a rusted chain. You laugh, it doesn't cry. Promises of what I seem to be only go by. All of these things I said to you. It's the hardest thing to do. All I said and all I did for you. I'd say goodbye. Who's that? I do not recognize that. I do. Hello? This collection for somebody named Gary. Are you Gary? Gary! Gary! Are you Gary? Are you scary? Or are you Harry? Are you Harry Gary? But Harry Gary's rolling down the road looking for somebody to cut his hair. Harry Gary is looking for a salon that'll take his long brown hair. Harry Gary, people calling around because you know that Gary will be found. Now Harry got some long old leg hair, it'd make Joe Biden cry. And if you looked at Harry's back hair, you would say, oh my, oh my. If you looked at his arm hair, you wouldn't see arm, you could see a forest 5 miles long. Gary's got some long ass hair to be reckoned. Gary's got some long ass hair to be reckoned. Gary's got some long ass Gary's got some long ass hair and scary hairy Gary. Gary. I know how this song was written. One day, the Doobies were in band practice, and they're like, let's do a blues song. And the bass player was like, dude, can we please do something outside of E? And the guitar player was like, sure, man. How's that, motherfucker? Is that outside of E enough? Now, without love, ooh, where would you be now? Ooh, I got to get that feeling. What's moving now? What's moving now? What's moving now? Baby, keep it moving now. Keep it moving now. See them old pig run and watch them disappear. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Gotta keep on moving. Gotta keep on, baby. Keep moving now. Keep on moving now. Keep on. Don't you feel it coming day by day? Thank you. People getting ready for the news. Some are happy. Thank you. Some are sad. Thank you very much. But we'll kick the blues away. Thank you very much. What people need is a way to make them smile. It ain't so hard to do it. We're gonna get that chord right. All right. Thank you very much. It's like all right, you guys take care. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Stef Zamorano. I don't know, but thank you for coming back, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson. I'm gonna take care of this doggy. Thank you, Stef Zamorano, so much. Thank you, Jimmy Dore, for letting us borrow her for an hour. You guys, and thank you, audience, for coming out and enjoying this episode and making this possible, guys. You guys know you all helped make this possible. So I will see you guys later. No law regarding cannabis. And remember naysgarden.com. And just say that we'll see you on the next show, guys. Okay? And go check out the Jimmy Dore show, like Stef said. Okay? Stef Zamorano, everybody. Stef Zamorano. Zamorano. Thank you, Stef. All right. Bye, guys. 20-second wave brought to you by Stef Zamorano for coming on the show. Thank you, Stef. All right. Bye, guys. 20-second wave goodbye brought to you by Stef Zamorano. 20-second wave goodbye brought to you by Stef Zamorano. Wow, Phil Swift here to tell you that Stef Zamorano is a fantastic person, and we'd like to show you FlexSeal and the entire FlexSeal family of products. Wow, look at this glue. It'll hold on to you, and don't worry, you won't be blue if you use FlexSeal, Flex Shot, and Flex Tape right now. Thank you so much. Billy Mays here with OxyClean and the entire OxyClean line. Don't listen to Phil Swift. He's an idiot. I, however, know that this will take any stain out, including Phil Swift. moving. Won't you keep on moving? Won't you keep on moving? Hey, fuck you with the drive-thru. It's what they're gonna do. They're gonna fuck you. You want to get one of tuna. They're not gonna give you tuna sandwich. They're gonna give you egg salad, and they're gonna fuck you with the drive-thru. They're gonna fuck you. They're gonna fuck you with the drive-thru. You're very good. Shh. Shut up, you. You sit down, you. You shut up. You're very good. Shut up, you. You're very good. You're very good, you. We've been watching you. We got our eye on you, my friend. My friend, shut up. You just stop crying, you. You stop your crying. We've been watching you. I told you to stop your crying. Hey, you, shut up. Sit down. Shut up. Tell me, what did you do? Tell me, what did you do? What did you do? Tell me what you did. Huh? What did you do? You shut up, you. Shut up. Tell me what you did. Shut up. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A neighborly day in this beauty. Would you let your balls out for a fucking breath of air? Would you be mine? Well, I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in the neighborhood with you. So let's all go and make this a beautiful day. Let's go and say, hey, that was trendy, nay. He's really high. Wow, he's so high. He was talking about his balls. Again. He's talking about his balls again. Hey, Mom, you said come in here when they start talking about his balls again. Come in here. Why do you even leave? He never stops talking. Might as well just stay in here and watch. Mom, hey, Mom, now he's talking about his balls again. Get in here. Oh my God, that was fucking funny. Oh. Hey, Mom, get in here. God, I'm gonna go walk around my forest, my enchanted forest, with my dog. I shall go walk among the trees. I shall tie my hair back in the breeze and avoid all of the fleas. And I shall not sneeze. No. No. I wonder how, my little wings. I can't wait till I'm older and I can get wings. My wings like Paulie. I can't wait till I'm older and I can get my wings like Paulie. I can't wait till I'm older and I can get my wings like Paulie. Only Enoch knows the answer to that. Only Enoch. There's only Enoch. Beazle, ready to walk with his daddy. Beazle. Hey, we should have Beazle on here. Bees, yo bees. Beazle. Beazle says, Dad, I want to go outside. Beazle says, I'm really big, don't make me cry. Beazle says, I am laying on this floor. Beazle says, I cannot take him anymore. Someone please take me for a walk outside. My name is Rogan or Beazle, and I've lost all my pride. Beazle. Bye.